Hello and welcome to the Trade Ideas Market Recap for Wednesday, July the 23rd. My name is Barry Anderson and I'm the moderator of the trading room. This is the address to get into the room. Well, I'm going to go over 5 trades today. Another fairly active day for me today. The first trade was ADI, and ADI, actually that is not correct. The first trade was ATI. I did do ADI, but actually this was the first trade. ATI was one of my bounce plays, and you can see that is right here. I got alerted to it at 10:07, and the price was 41.75. 10:07. So right in this area here. So you can see all the down red candles. These are 5-minute candles. And so we started watching this, and I think somebody else pointed out to me that was this ready for a bounce, and so I started, I see these, but sometimes I just kind of forget about them because as they're coming down, I start moving on to other things that might interest me. So somebody else in the room pointed out, wondering if this was ready, and so I decided, even though like here is the 41.91 is the low of this candle. And so I thought, okay, I will, once it broke above 42.08, I decided to take the trade. This is the high of this candle right there. So I took the trade at 42.12 when I was going to put a stop down in this level here. So a little bit outside my on my comfort zone for a stop, but I decided to take the trade anyway because it had such a nice capitulation down move. And I thought, well, maybe if we get half of that, that'd be great. So moved it up 42.12, and it got as high as 42.43. I did not sell it there though, unfortunately. And as it started coming down, I sold at 42.22. So did not take full advantage of this, but I was really hoping for maybe into the 42.70 area, but it just didn't happen. The next trade I took was DRL, and DRL was definitely a wild card trade. Of course, DRL is something that I've been watching, and this is the reason. If you remember DRL, about probably 2 weeks ago or so, you saw it had a huge spike from 404 all the way up to 776, and then even the next day all the way up to almost $10. So this had a tremendous 2-day rise, and it's been in a downtrend ever since. But today, it looked like it was ready to resume again for a while anyway. And so when I saw this, I even said in the room, this is a bit of a lotto play for me. And I kind of hopped on this momentum right here at 664, went right through $7. Now notice this. You see the high today is 710 right here in this spike, and look right here. The high of this day right here is 710, and that's exactly where it stalled. It's amazing how it works sometimes when you look at. Now I wouldn't have necessarily called it that was going to be the big resistance level. I might have thought it would challenge up here, but it just came right into that area and sold off right from there. So I actually was able to get out of the trade at 692. I know in the room, I think I said I might swing it, but I decided I wasn't going to swing it. So, but I'll keep watching it. I mean, it's got, anytime you can see a gap like this that could possibly get filled, you have to keep watching it. So I will certainly do that. Now, the next trade was DRL ADI. Wasn't actually the next trade in the order I took them, but I'll go over this one anyway. Now, this looks like it should have come from here on the bounce play, but it didn't. Somebody else pointed this out. It didn't show up on here because it didn't meet certain requirements. I don't know what they were that it didn't meet, but it doesn't really matter. Somebody pointed this out as something that could potentially bounce, and I looked at this and it looked pretty good. You've got the downtrend, and then you've got some consolidation. And on this candle right here, this green candle right here, it looked good to go. So I took the trade at 52.28, and it hit a high of 52.37, and that was it. And I actually sold for a loss at 52.21. Good thing I did. Good thing I didn't, get stubborn about it, because it is still went down. The market has another half an hour left to go. So this definitely would not have worked as, what I call the stubborn play. Just hang on and hope for the best. Now, the next trade was Dow, and that was a good trade. Let me just bring in sorry about that. It's on another monitor, obviously. Here we go. This is my break of the 20-day high. And let me just shrink it down a little bit here. Okay, so this is my break of the 20-day high. And in case you don't know what this is, basically what I do is I scan the night before and I get a list of stocks that fit certain filters. People have asked me, can I share it with them? I can't really because I have a bunch of custom filters that I use for the evening scan, and then there are some custom filters in here. When we collaborate on a link, custom filters do not collaborate. They're unique to each person, and they do not copy to somebody else, unfortunately. So it's really I cannot basically give this link to somebody. But at any rate, this is what I do the scan. I come up with a list of symbols that I'm going to be watching the next day. And again, what happens is if the minute that the stock hits its 20-day high, the row will go from white to blue. And so at 53.35, that was Dow's 20-day high. And so I would have got 52.35, so I would have got the alert. It would have changed colors right here. I watched it do a little jog down, and then as it came back up, I decided to take the trade. I've seen it so many times when I don't do that, that it just keeps running and running and running. So today, I was bound and determined to do this. So I took the trade at 53.50. I took half out at 53.84. I watched it break 54. You can see here the high is 54.24. I watched it break, get up here, but when it came back down, I decided to, when it broke the whole number again, I decided to exit the second half at 53.90. Now, granted, it did go back up and it's 54.09, but I'll take that trade. It was fairly easy trade, easy on the emotions. You can see that basically there's a 5 minute candles and it basically had a nice climb until we got to this area around the whole number. And typically that can happen around the whole number. I mean, look at this spike down. I mean, that would have definitely stopped everybody out if they were had true stops. So that was a nice trade. I really like that trade. It was steady, not spectacular. I mean, no dollar rises or anything like that, but not a, but a good trade. And the last one, ooh, I can see it's doing what I wanted it to do again. Oh well. TGTX. Now this came some other, I can't really remember on how I was alerted to this, but it probably was a new high of the day right in this area. And I took the trade at 917 and right here, and you can see here it spiked up to 927. I was really hoping it would keep going. Wasn't a huge, didn't have a lot a lot of volume, and sometimes sometimes when stocks don't have a lot of volume, 762,000 shares right now, but we know when I was into it, it had far less. So sometimes those can really run, especially I was watching the stability of it. It wasn't having wild gyrations. So I took the trade, and it basically did not work. Well, it worked in that I got out at 9:20. I got out right on this candle here as it started coming down, and I even said to the room, it's a great timing because the next candle it really collapsed. But I can see it's come back, and don't know what it's going to do, but I thought it was worth the risk. Low volume, good stability, good accumulation, and then when it started breaking over these highs, I thought it was a good risk to take the trade. Now, the excitement today was with this one, PBYI. If you didn't know, imagine waking up. Here you've got the stock at $58, and you wake up and it hits a high of 199 in the pre-market. And actually, this is incorrect. I don't know why. It's probably because of the scale here, but the bottom line is that it's at $232. So from $60 to 232. Well, that really kickstarted a lot of the bios, and especially I'm going to call it like my pet bio. This one is giving me some fits, I have to admit. I've had this since April. I've had this since April here, and my average price is I think around the 2150, 2125 to 2140. I've added a few times down here, and I suffered a bit here, and then when it popped back up here, I thought we were good to go. And then, we had another downturn. It keeps holding this 18 level. And today, I mean, I can't say that it was exactly because of the action with PBYI and getting a lot of more back interest in some of these bios. But whatever it happened, I don't care. Great to see. I'm back positive again. And there's all sorts of rumors that maybe GILD is going to take a run at them. I don't know that. I mean, here is what I'm looking at, of course. $38 is when it up in this level. I think it had a private placement or something at 36, some financing at 36, and it's collapsed since then. But um, I don't know. It's got a lot of drugs or in the chain. I don't like. I'm no bio expert, believe me. But what little I've read on it, it just seemed to me that it was a decent hold, long-term hold for me. And certainly not telling everybody to jump in and buy it. But if it ever broke out through here again, it might be worth a look. So that's it. That is it for me today. Another pretty active day. And again, just here's how to get into the room. This is the address. And I hope to see you in the room tomorrow.